The National Traffic Highway Safety Administration says on Friday and Saturday nights, 1 out of 5 drivers has a drug other than alcohol in their system. The agency says the drug that saw the biggest increase between 2007 and 2014 was marijuana. The National Institute on Drug Abuse says after alcohol, marijuana is the drug most commonly involved in crashes. Even so, some argue marijuana doesn't necessarily make a driver unsafe. Like this San Diego woman. She asked us not to use her name because she doesn't want her boss to know she smokes pot. The woman says marijuana makes her a better driver.
I think it's just because the weed makes me feel so much more relaxed and I don't feel rushed. Because most of the time I feel rushed just because of the nature of my job. But when I'm smoking weed, I can go whatever pace I want to.
But others could smoke the same amount of pot as this woman and feel totally out of it. So where do we draw the line? Researchers at UC San Diego are trying to find out.
So this is the room where we do the driving simulations. We have our participants sit here in this seat and go through a fully interactive driving simulation.
Tom Marcotte is the co-director of UCSD's Center for Cannabis Research. He's involved in a state-funded study that aims to establish when a person is too stoned to drive. People in the study are being given different amounts of pot of varying strengths and then asked to take a spin in the simulator.
We have things where people need to make left-hand turns across oncoming traffic, which requires judgment of time and distance and all of that. And if you go too fast, you'll squeal tires, and if you go too slow, you may be in an accident.
Move to the far right lane and take the freeway exit.
Researchers will be testing participants immediately after they smoke, and then hours later to see how impairment changes over time. Dr. Igor Grant is director of the Center for Cannabis Research.
We're, monitoring blood levels, saliva levels, expired breath, all those kinds of things. And using, not only driving, but other kinds of cognitive tests to see how impaired a person really is. I think based on that, maybe we can develop a better indicator of impairment.
The study is just getting underway, so it will be some time before any results are announced. Grant says previous research suggests in modest doses marijuana doesn't greatly increase the risk of accidents. But that's not to say he's encouraging people to drive stoned.
My point is that we don't know the exact criteria to detect intoxication. How long after a person has taken the marijuana are they unsafe to drive? And these are the things we need to answer.
But Scripps Mercy Hospital's Chief of Staff, Michael Seiss, believes any amount of marijuana makes someone unsafe to drive. In his decades of experience as a trauma surgeon, Dr. Seiss has seen too much carnage caused by drug-impaired drivers.
Basically, buzzed driving is dangerous driving. So arguing over amounts right now is probably not the way to think about it. I think all of us should be responsible drivers. Bottom line is, if you're buzzed from whatever, you should not drive.
Kenny Goldberg, KPBS News.